Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca. Today we are going to be spending a little bit of a slower morning. If I'm being honest, I feel like I've kind of let my house go and I'm a little bit overwhelmed and I didn't know where to start. So we ended up outside in the garden and the kids were playing. It was a nice day before we had this massive heat wave. And I just kind of got lost in the garden. I was kind of admiring the last little bit of our wildflowers. Our pollinator garden took off this year. This is the biggest one I've had and we were super excited. I think it was just about time to pull the carrots and my boys tried pulling quite a few out and unbeknownst to me, we buried them too close to where I buried the fencing and they got tangled up in the fencing that's a few inches deep. So I ended up having to dig out the carrots and I don't know, we were just outside enjoying the sun and kind of just admiring everything that had taken off. Our sunflowers were getting bigger and larger and our fruit trees are starting to fruit this year. So I always like to film my garden. I don't always include it, but I'm basically filming it every day. My son was trying to pick out the carrots and some of them were so intertwined. I didn't thin any of them out. We were basically just kind of winging it this year, so it was pretty fun. These are all of our pumpkin sprouts. I think we did 3 packets of pumpkin seeds. Quite a few of them didn't take just because of the heat, but we've got probably like 35 or 37 different little pumpkin sprouts. I'm hoping that at least 10 or 15 make it. I would love to have a pumpkin patch in the backyard this year. I know that sounds insane, but why not? It would be such a memory for the kids. I think I'm gonna have to replant quite a few because of the heat. So I'm gonna try to start some of them inside and then hopefully by the end of August I'll be able to put them in a shady spot in the garden with a shade cloth. I just wanted to spend a slow morning and this was definitely one of those times. We had carrots to harvest. I thought it was about time to look at how beautiful these are. I'm so excited. This is the first time we've had successful pumpkins make it to the garden. My mom's came back from last year. I took these out of the pot and threw them in the ground immediately. They died back and our corn is coming up. We've never had corn. This is our first year planting basically everything in the ground and honestly, I've never been more proud. We've harvested snap peas, radishes, a ton of carrots you'll see here in a minute. My flowers are getting just stronger, the ones that are coming back from last year. So spend some time with me, slow down, just sit back and hopefully relax. I hope that you enjoy your morning. If this is anything you take from this video, it's okay to take a break. We left everything inside. We will come back and clean. You guys, every day we find apples on the ground. I don't know if it's a raccoon. Obviously they fall every now and then, but I feel like there's a critter that tries to eat the apples and there's always at least one missing from the tree and you'll find it some random place scattered in the garden. So I'm gonna dig up quite a few things, transplant some stuff, amend a little bit of the soil, and then we will get back into the house, do a super quick grocery haul, and then start cleaning. Nothing heavy today. We are going to be doing a little bit of deep cleaning, but we're not going to tackle the entire home since I wanted something simple and slow. The grocery haul before we get into anything in the house. We are a family of 4. If you're new here, I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom. I have 2 little guys and we absolutely love to pick up some sort of pastry or Danish, what have you, on Sunday mornings. It's a really quick breakfast. Sundays are typically the day I will reset the house, or we just honestly have quite a bit going on, or it's family day. Needless to say, we have a super simple breakfast. We got Lunchables, a bunch of salad. We've been on a really big salad kick lately. We were gonna do barbecue like beef tip sandwiches for dinner, so that was a super easy dinner with salad on the side. I love Sweet Baby Ray's. Let me know your favorite barbecue sauce down below. I have not had one that I love more than that. We got a bunch of ground beef. Anytime this brand is on sale, my husband will pick up quite a few. Fruit for the week, we got strawberries, avocado, milk, a bunch of vegetables. I don't know why, you guys, anytime we buy The smaller cucumbers, they don't last, and I've never had success growing them. I found one plant today that made it. I swear I plant an entire packet of seeds every year, and I've never had one successfully fruit. So if you do, let me know your tips down below. A bunch of fruit for the week, and then the busy, it's the unsweetened. I think I got the organic light roast this time, and then the breakfast blend. Wasn't a fan of the breakfast blend. I wouldn't recommend that one. And then my kids love these for breakfast, so we're gonna wrap everything up. We came inside and look at this mountain of carrots. I was so excited, and I loved how they're all different. None of them look the same. I'm gonna go ahead and get these washed, and I'm gonna rinse them for quite some time. I read on a forum somewhere that you can rinse them in salt water to hopefully get rid of any of the pests. I try not to use anything on the garden besides just water. So if the bugs are there, they're there, and if they come inside, I try to rinse them with the hose at least twice outside, let them dry for a little bit. That's why they were on the back porch. But then, as you can see, there's just so much dirt and rocks. So I'm going to rinse everything at least quite a few times, and then I'll throw it in some vinegar water, and then we're actually going to juice these carrots. I didn't have enough to can. I'm watching so many videos about canning. I'm hoping that come next spring, I'm in a larger greenhouse. We have plans to expand the garden and do a lot more above ground. I want to try like a no dig method. I want to try different raised bed gardens. We're kind of testing different areas. So the garden that we have right now is pretty small scale, but it's a great learning ground for us. This is our second year, third season. So we're learning a lot. We're able to harvest this year, and honestly, I'm just proud of me and the boys because they are out there every day with mommy checking on our little seedlings. And to see something like this come from our backyard, I think it's just wonderful that the boys can grow up and know that, you know, this is something that we're doing as a family and it's a group effort. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to juice some carrots, and then I did juice the carrot tops. They were absolutely disgusting. I wanted to make a pesto, but I didn't have everything on hand, and I hated just throwing them away after growing them, and they smelled good. It was the probably nastiest shot of green juice I've ever had, but I'm sure it had a ton of vitamins in it. So if you have any recipes, let me know what you do with carrot tops. I've seen pesto, and I've also seen like a pesto pasta. It looks good, but I didn't have anything on hand for that. Okay, so like I said earlier in the video, nothing too crazy. You can see this is just super disgusting. I have no excuse. It's honestly just something that when you open our laundry room door, I open this door, I don't know, 95 times a day. I'm exaggerating, but we go in and out to go outside, you know, take out the trash. If you're tossing a box out the back door to be in the recycling, what have you, to do laundry. I'm always in and out of this room, and so is everybody else. And then when it's super hot outside, we close it so the air circulates in our house. And this, what is it? It's like the utility closet is out of sight, out of mind, because the door into the laundry room, it just kind of butts up against this when you open it. So I honestly opened the back door and I was like, what in the world? It was so dusty on the outside. I'm going to show you how disgusting our air filter was. And I was like, there's no way we're having someone come out to maintenance it. And I'm like, if they open the closet, it's just, I would feel bad for someone maintaining the machine and like looking at everything, if it was that dusty, like it was just grimy. So it needed to be done. I'm doing a dry dusting first. If you do anything with a ton of dust, do a dry dusting with just a dry microfiber rag. Don't wet anything, you're going to make it worse and it's harder for yourself. Do a dry dusting and then go back with a damp microfiber rag. You'll see me do that with vinegar later. And then I got any of the loose dust up with the vacuum. So super caked on dust, but you know what, it's just something that sometimes you forget, and it took maybe all of 20 minutes. So not that big of a deal if you have something that you've kind of been putting off, or you look at something and you're like, gosh, when was the last time I did that? Take a deep breath, just take it in stride, and hopefully you'll get to it sooner. It's not that big of a deal. Trust me, I used to stress out about these things, and honestly, it should be done more often. And I'm pretty on top of the air conditioning vents and all of that stuff, but sometimes things get away from you, and that's life. So we're gonna clean this up and make it look shiny and new. I had no idea what to do in here, but I was trying not to break it. And then we're gonna move on to my kids' bathroom. So now that we've kind of wrapped up that area, I'm just going to wipe down the appliances, straighten up in here, clean the windows, mop, and then we're going to move on to cleaning out the actual dryer vent. I clean this out after every load, but I did want to vacuum it out because I noticed that there was quite a bit of buildup. So if you don't have an attachment on your vacuum, you can use, I've even used like a spatula and a pair of tongs. You can put a microfiber rag in there, attach it with like a rubber band or a hair tie around the spatula, around a pair of tongs. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just get as much as you can out, because dryer fires are like a real thing and it's such a hazard. After vacuuming out all that dust, I wanted to just rinse out the vacuum filter and let this soak for a little bit as well, because it had so much dust. It wasn't anything that I can, you can just like scrape away all the dust and toss it in the trash. That wasn't happening there. I haven't cleaned this in like a month, the actual dryer filter, like a deep clean. So we're going to take care of that really quick. It's something, again, it takes like 5 minutes, but today I feel like I'm tackling the things that I don't typically remember when I'm trying to go all around the house and touch the bedrooms, bedding, bathrooms, floors, windows, dusting. Sometimes when you get caught up in the like day to day, like the weekly reset, you forget about the things that need to happen often, but you don't need to do them every week. So let me know, are you on top of that? Do you make a monthly schedule? Do you make a weekly schedule? For me, sometimes I fly by the seat of my pants, and then there's other times I feel like in the winter and the fall, I'm like so on top of a like monthly cleaning schedule and weekly cleaning schedule. But when it comes to like summer and spring, we are outside so much and we have so many things going on. I feel like it's like day by day. If I remember it, great. If I don't, then I'll forget it and then remember a week later. Was I'm cleaning inside the dish drainer disposal, whatever it's called. Anytime I know my sponge is like at the end of its life, I like to change them out super often. Buy a pack at Costco or Sam's Club, wherever you can buy them in bulk. You can see how grimy this is. I drink so much coffee. I'll drink like half a pot in the morning, and then I'll make an afternoon coffee, and whatever is, I see either my hair or my shoulder. Something's always in the way when I'm cleaning, so I apologize. But anytime I dump it down the sink, no matter how quick I am there to rinse it, it just stains. So I feel like the only thing that has gotten this out is the Barkeeper's Friend or the pink paste. Barkeeper's Friend, the powder, it was so inexpensive. It's a little bit cheaper than the squirt bottle that I have here laying on the left-hand side. They both work the exact same. There is quite a strong scent, so I always recommend opening a window. Use gloves. It's not really great to use it without. It dries out your hands. But boy, does it work wonders. I always have toothbrushes to get into like the little nooks and crannies. It didn't get everything out this time, but I feel like after a few more scrubs, I can get the sink looking new. I used to do this very often, and I just feel like I've fallen off. So I'm hoping that I remember to do this more often than not, but I promise you, if you do this at least once a week, your sink will be so incredibly shiny, and it just feels so nice to know that it's been like deep cleaned and scrubbed, and there's no more like grime around the underlip of the sink and in the garbage disposal. You can see I'm scratching because I forgot to put on gloves. I always forget to do that. And then I feel like my hands and my arms are just like super dry. So learn from my mistake. I put on a pair of gloves and try not to get it on your skin. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this cleaner in the tub. It needed a really good deep clean. If you ever use this, this is my first time using this cleaner as well. I randomly found it when we went into Home Depot. I think you can buy it at like any hardware store. I don't think I've seen it at Target. It's supposed to work really well. It does not have a strong scent, which I genuinely appreciate. And I feel like it's scrubbed so well. Like I didn't have to scrub the surfaces extremely hard to get any of like the soap scum off or anything like that. So I would probably recommend this one. I don't know. I haven't used it for a long time, so take that with a grain of salt. I'm going to scrub down the tub first, and then we'll go into the bathroom area, scrub down the sink, do the mirrors, and then this will be the end of our cleaning. Again, nothing too heavy today. I hope that you guys just kind of take it one day at a time. I say that very often, but sometimes you genuinely just need to slow down, do something for yourself. And today that was me being in the garden and just kind of enjoying everything that we put hard work into. And by hard work, for me, that means patience. The garden teaches me to be patient, and I'm extremely impatient. So to plant something months before and like wait for it to come up as soon as I see a sprout, I'm like, oh, I want to pick it and see how big the carrots are. We waited months and we were super patient, and we had a pretty good harvest. So I hope that that is just a reminder that it's okay to slow down. It's okay to kind of enjoy the things that you put time into and be present for the things that you put all of your effort into. always have to tighten these toilet seats. I want to get the ones that have like the built-in potty chair. It's just one of those things that add to the never-ending list, right? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, let me know down below if you like this kind of content. Don't forget to say hello. I love if you guys say hello down below. Thank you for spending any of your time with me today. It's the start of a new week. Take that in stride. Just do one task at a time. I promise you, once you start, it'll kind of snowball into something productive. I hope that you guys have a wonderful start to your morning. I will see you in the next video.